play like a new setup as well. I bought some daffodils and I basically just wanted to show them off, and I thought that I could make it a thing that in every video I have a new little collection of flowers. So also just want to point out that this pile of books has like meaning. So I've got a nice little collection. I've also got this beautiful little statuette thing that my parents bought me when they went to Verona. Of course, my little bobblehead Han Solo. And as you can guess, it's not 20 to 10, but I am a student and can't afford to buy batteries. Also, the ticking was really loud, so that too. Hey, howdy, hello. So today I want to talk to you about something that is probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you in this series, and that is to do with reading. A very large part of being a writer, especially a young writer, is originality. Last night I was at an audience with Willie Russell. I can't do it. Last night I was at an audience with Willie Russell, author of, you know, like Blood Brothers, Our Day Out, Shirley Valentine, Educating Rita, that bloke. And one of the things he commented on was the screening process that a young writer or a writer in general has to go to now before the piece actually reaches its audience. You have personal drafts, which is, you know, the bones of the story, and then it goes through publishing, and so much of that essence is lost through editing because people have a very specific idea of what the story should contain, how it should be told. So as you can imagine, facing this, we all start to panic. The only way we think we can get through this is by coming up with the next big thing, you know, something that absolutely nobody has done before. But as Mr. Russell went on to say, when you're writing a play or a novel or a collection of poetry, you're not writing about a certain issue, you're not writing something that could be seen as controversial. Honestly, you just want to write the thing, and the controversy comes from how other people decide to view it. So originality becomes much less of an issue when you stop viewing writing as some kind of moral obligation and start seeing it as something you love to do and love to share. But of course, we still worry about it, and I think one of the biggest worries with writers today working in such a saturated market is being influenced by other writers. Now in this series I've already talked about plot and how every story ever written is some variation on those 12 points that I mentioned. It's inevitable, there are going to be similarities, but this shouldn't scare you away from reading other literature. The best piece of advice as a writer I can give you really is just to read. Don't think like a ponce and think that the only thing that is good in the market at the moment is contemporary, that the best thing is the newest. Let's take Shakespeare for example, a playwright that as of this year has been around for 400 years, and his plays today still have an incomprehensible impact on the way we write and the way we read and even the way we view the world. You've got Marlowe, Blake, Wordsworth, all writers that have been around for almost centuries. But they've been around for centuries for a reason, that's because they're good. And we shouldn't shun them because they're old news or they've been done to death. We should learn from them. My greatest ideas have come from experiencing stories in different ways than how I would really expect them to be presented. Whether it's reading different genres, reading different forms in different mediums. My lovely friend Timothy has just released an ebook of handwritten poetry, and that is something I had never even thought was a thing, but now I'm just like, wow, that is such an incredible idea. I will actually leave the link for that below because honestly it's such a gorgeous collection of poetry, and it's the kind of poetry that I get more and more out of the more I read it, and I just like implore you to go and buy it, please. Don't be that person who thinks they can pull a poem out of their arse and be done with it. I mean, okay, this has clearly worked for a very, very small amount of people, but it is very, very rare. And honestly, the sooner you learn that, the better off you're gonna be. Think J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter off the top of her head? No, that bitch had a BA from the Uni of Exeter in classics and French. Like, that chick was reading stuff that even like the regular English BA student is never going to read in their academic career. To put it simply, being a writer essentially just means being a professional reader. I'm pretty sure someone said that. Go to events, pick up something really random on your next trip to Waterstones, something you didn't even think existed. Personally, the best way I ever find myself being inspired is by watching or reading or listening to something that really makes me think. Whether it's a movie, a novel, a poem read by its author in a tiny little hot tent in the middle of Glastonbury, they've all given me something, and that's how I like to view the writing of others, as little tiny gifts. We get to unwrap them and appreciate them and learn from them. And I guarantee you that if you do this, if you take these gifts and appreciate them and really immerse yourself in them, then you are definitely going to end up on the right track. That's about all I've got for you today. Go and buy Timmy's book, like seriously, you will freaking love it. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Stay fabulous and I'll see you all soon.